Hey there, I'm Tyler Lunsford, and you're watching a review of Nicholas Moveres's CineMental. What is up, you beautiful people? My name is Tyler Lunsford, and welcome back to another magic trick review here on the channel. Now, if you're new here, then definitely please consider subscribing and take a look around the channel at my past reviews. Now, today we're going to be looking at CineMental. It's a really cool, basically a card trick combined with a mentalism trick, combined with movies. Really neat, really exciting, and I'm just excited to bring this review to you today. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'd like to thank Mystique Factory for sending me this product so I could do the review for you beautiful people. And if you like to purchase it from them, you can get 10% off, and you can get 10% off your entire first order with them by using code Tyler10 at checkout. So if you use that code, you get 10% off your entire first order. So yeah, there you go. I'm not making any money off that code, just something that I want to, try to give to you guys so that way you can get some money off and, save some money if you'd like to. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get right into this video. First off, you need to know what actually is CineMental. Well, CineMental is mentalism meets the movies. Now, this is a really cool effect that you can do with a deck of movie cards. Now, these movie cards each have different movies on them. You ask your spectators to select a card, but what you're going to have them do is just lift up from the pile. They cut some cards off. They look at the card that they have. They put the rest of the cards away, and then they shuffle the cards that they have chosen. They then hand the cards back to the magician. The magician asks them if they remember details on their card, or they ask them to, mentally say stop as the magician goes through the cards, and the magician, keep in mind, is not looking at these cards the entire time. After the magician goes through all the cards with the spectator without looking at them, the spectator only mentally called out stop. The magician instantly knows what card was selected by the spectators, but this is only the first phase. Moving into the second phase, the magician pulls out a piece of card or a blank piece of paper or something that they can write on. They then write down a prediction and ask your spectators to stop once again. The spectator gets to hold the cards this time and deal cards face up down on the table and stops whenever they want to. It truly is a free choice. Then the card that they stop at, you reveal to them, is whatever card that they have stopped at. Then you show the two cards around them on each side of the card are different, so that way they could have really stopped anywhere. Then the magician flips over the piece of paper that they had written down the prediction on, and lo and behold, it is the exact movie title that was selected for the second phase of the trick. It's a really neat card trick meets mentalism meets the movies effect, and I'm really excited to be reviewing this today, so let's go ahead and dive in and answer some more questions that you guys may have about it. Now let's talk about what you'll be receiving if you decide to purchase CineMental. Well, you get this package right here, and inside of this package is the deck of movie cards. And I'll actually show you what they look like. So this is the deck of movie cards that you receive. It comes in this nice box right here. It's an orange box. The box says movie icons on it. 52 iconic movie posters reimagined. This is updated classics edition. Really cool. These cards are actually printed by the United States Playing Card Company, which is awesome. They got a great feel to them, and the box doesn't look magical at all. All it is just the movie icon posters or whatnot. So that way your spectators, when you pull this deck out, they're not going to think, oh, this is a magic deck. Like, this totally looks like a deck that you could have bought in Walmart that just has to do with, like, random movies or something like that. So I really do like that they, didn't make this look like a magic deck. If you want to know what the deck actually looks like on the inside, well, I'll show you. This is what the deck looks like. This is the back design. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully it's focused. But that is what the cards look like on the inside. And yeah, it's nice. They feel nice. They're printed by the United States Playing Card, like I mentioned, and so they feel really good and they look really good. Now, you also get a tutorial video online that is shot by Murphy's Magic, so it's great camera quality, great audio, the typical Murphy's Magic tutorial videos. Now, Javier, which is the man who you see in the trailer that performed this effect, he actually, and this is pretty cool, this is what I really liked about the trailer and, well, the tutorial, is that he actually learned how to do the trick in the tutorial. Like, you see him learning, which kind of shows, I'll move into difficulty here. It's not a too terribly difficult trick to do. It's honestly really easy once you understand the workings. And I loved that they were actually teaching him in the tutorial, because then you see how he slayed the tutorial video, or how he slayed the trailer, because he only learned in the tutorial video and then practiced some, but then went out and performed it for the trailer. So I don't want to ramble about it too much, but I just thought it was really cool. You get to actually see him learn how an effect is done, and then you get to see him perform it in the trailer. One more thing about the tutorial video, I also think that when you're watching someone learn along with you yourself who's learning, that they can ask some questions that maybe someone who already knows how the trick works wouldn't have thought of, which I really appreciate his insight, and just the tutorial video was great all around. Is CineMental examinable? Yes, for the most part, this deck is examinable. Your spectators can examine it at first. You know, when you go through the effect for the first phase, they get to look through the entire deck, and then for the second phase, they're actually dealing the cards face up to choose a card, so that way they can see that they're all different. So yes, they can pretty much examine the deck and they can go through it, you know, during the effect, and it feels like a really free choice from a deck that just looks completely normal. How are the angles for CineMental? You should be able to perform this surrounded. There might be a certain point in the effect where you have to do a little bit of misdirection, but you should be able to do this surrounded for the most part, as long as no one sees you, writing your prediction during the effect, because that would kind of ruin the prediction for the second phase. But yeah, for the most part, you can pretty much do this surrounded. There's not really too many angle restrictions you have to worry about. Is there any do-it-yourself work or initial setup you have to do? There's no arts and crafts. The deck comes ready to go. It's already printed. You don't have to print it. Don't worry. And you also don't have to do any arts and crafts. It comes ready to go. Now, the initial setup you might have to do is just to make sure that everything is in its correct workings. I don't want to, go too much into this without revealing the method. So just make sure that your deck is, working correctly. And then after you do that, that's pretty much the initial setup. Probably take you like 5 minutes once you watch the tutorial video. Are there any negatives to performing CineMental? Really, the biggest negative I see is that the second phase is not repeatable. And the other negative I see is that the deck itself is examinable for the most part, and when your spectators are doing this effect, like, they're not gonna notice that anything's up with the deck. But if you let them hold this deck and go through every card individual and like give them time, they're obviously gonna figure out probably something's up with the deck. But during the routine, the amount of time you're allowing them to inspect the deck and stuff like that, they shouldn't find anything. But I just want to throw that out there and let you know about that. To comment on what I last said, would I be comfortable handing this deck out in the spectators' hands? Yes, I am 100% comfortable handing this deck out for my spectators to hold and do the effect with. What are the positives to performing CineMental? Well, one positive is that the first phase is repeatable, which I really like. You could do it as many times as you wanted to, and as long as you're choosing different cards, and you're going to be naming different movies that they're choosing. And another thing really is that you can actually do the first phase blindfolded, and maybe with enough practice and enough awareness, you might do the second phase blindfolded. Now, I would feel confident doing that if I practice this a lot. But yeah, you could potentially do this blindfolded if you really wanted to, which I think would add another level of impossibility. Another thing is that when you're dealing with movies and movie cards, it opens up the door for some unique revelations, because let's say like you just want to write it down. Like, you can do that to reveal your prediction, but you could also have like a movie clip on YouTube on your phone playing, like, to reveal it. You could have like on your Twitter, like a GIF from the movie, or a GIF, or I don't know how to pronounce it. How do you pronounce it? Let me know in the comments. But there's just so many different ways that you could reveal this movie, and I think that's really cool. What should CineMental retail as? Well, this currently retails as $35 US, and is that a fair price? Well, let's talk about what you get for a second. You're getting a printed deck of playing cards. You're also learning how this effect is done, and it's a two-phase routine. So is $35 a fair price? Yes, I would say $35 is a fair price. Now, if there wasn't two phases to this, I'd probably say $30 would be a better price, but I think it's worth $35 considering there's two phases. You get a nice deck of printed playing cards, and yeah, it's cool. And also the packaging looks neat, but yeah, I guess that doesn't really matter if you don't care about packaging. But yeah, I think $35, it's a fair price. What would I give this out of 10? I would give this a solid 9.8 out of 10. The only reason it's getting docked the 0.2 is because the second phase is not repeatable. But if it was, then let me tell you, this would be getting a 10 out of 10. But yeah, 9.8, definitely solid rating. That's gonna do it for this video. I really just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you leave this review feeling more informed about CineMental. And if you'd like to purchase it, the link is in the description below. And also in the description below is a link to my Instagram page. There you can follow me on Instagram at TylerLancerMagic, and there I post like some original magic on there. I even let you like ask me questions about tricks that I reviewed. So if you'd like to do that, then definitely just reach out, and I wouldn't mind answering anything. I just don't reveal methods. But besides that, thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you in another video sometime soon. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. See ya.